Hello and welcome to Therapy Express with Rosanna. Thank you so much for watching. Today we are going to talk about body dysmorphia. And body dysmorphic disorder is very serious. It is a mental health disorder characterized by obsessive thinking and preoccupation with a bodily defect. And it could be real or imagined. It doesn't matter. The preoccupation is there. It affects 5 to 7.5 million people in this country. It is very real and it is very detrimental to the person who suffers from it. Most of us have some body part or body parts that we don't generally like, but it's not a big thing. We go on with our lives and it doesn't affect us in the least. But people with BDD, the body dysmorphic disorder, they are led by this thing. It contains everything in their lives. It is everything to them. And I will talk a little bit more about the symptoms and the causes in a second. But I knew a young woman who was obsessed with her facial and body hair. It consumed her. And she would spend hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on electrolysis just to be able to get rid of the hair. Now, looking at her, I never saw any hair. I never noticed anything. But for her, it was a huge thing and it ran her life. Another young woman that I treated, she thought she had a big nose. She was fixated on her nose. And she would say, look at this, look at my nose, it's big. Now, I'll have you know that I never even noticed her nose until she started talking about it and drawing attention to it. And then I thought, well, maybe it's a little bit bigger than normal, but she was beautiful. It didn't affect her in the least. But for the people who suffer from this, it is very dramatic, it is very painful, and these people, they are ruled, their lives are ruled by this thing, okay? So let's talk about some of the causes. Maybe there is anxiety, and this anxiety is causing the person to focus on a particular part of their bodies that they don't like. Maybe they were bullied or teased when they were growing up and they had horrible childhood experiences, and as they grew older, it stayed with them and now it's become a thing in their lives. Or maybe it's a genetic predisposition. Maybe some other members of the family, they all have a mole on their face. So you have a mole on your face and now that becomes the focal point of your life. Also, if you have low self-esteem and you already feel bad about yourself, one little added thing could just make it even worse. And then the last thing that could be is societal pressure. I mean, let's face it, magazines, billboards, commercials, they all have the pretty people. And they're not only pretty, they're almost perfect, but in reality they're not. They're just made to look that way. But if you were to run into these people on the street, they will look just like regular people with all their flaws and everything else. But to people with body dysmorphic disorder, they're seeing this and they're thinking, oh my God, you know, I have a mole here, I have acne, and look at her, she looks beautiful, she looks perfect, I'm never going to be able to find somebody, which is not the case. But for the person suffering from this mental health disorder, it is a very serious thing. So, what are some of the symptoms? All right, we talked a little bit about the focal point. They're fixated on this particular thing. That's all they focus on. And if they have, you know, like my friend had a little bit of hair on her face, which basically you couldn't even see. She was always fixated and touching it and looking at herself in the mirror. It was a real, very important thing to her. Also, they could be completely involved in covering it up, hiding whatever the flaw is. And it could be that they could get to the point of getting plastic surgery to hide whatever it is. Maybe they become obsessed with plastic surgery if they think that it can make whatever the flaw is go away. They could have an obsession with mirrors or an avoidance of mirrors. They could be obsessed with the fact that maybe they think that someone is always looking at them, or they're always asking people, what do you think? What do you think about this? Can you see it? Is it better? They could be obsessed with that. And so mainly the thing is that they are so fixated that they think everyone in the world is looking at them. They're looking at their nose, or their thin hair, or the pimple on the cheek, or the mark on the neck. Whatever it is, they will think that everyone is looking at that particular thing, when in fact nobody is. Everybody's busy living their own lives, looking at their own flaws, because let's face it, we all have flaws. None of us are perfect. That's just the way it is. We all have something that we don't like. And so what? So what? You're not going to find anybody perfect. I have known women especially who to me have looked perfect, and they were in the dance world or the gymnastic world, and I would talk to them and they would say, oh my God, look at my butt, or look at my legs. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with them? I mean, they were, in my eyes, looked beautiful, perfect, but to them, they saw something that I did not see. So some of the things that are the target for these people are, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, moles, facial hair, like that friend that I had, breast size, muscles, an obsession with genitalia as too big, too small, anything that to them feels out of the ordinary. Maybe they feel like they're too skinny, or they have maybe their hair is too thin and you can see their scalp, whatever it is. Those are some of the things that people focus on the most. And can you imagine you have something like that, and maybe it's real, maybe it is a real thing, but it's not that big of a thing to the rest of the world, but to you it's all encompassing. And sometimes you think you have it and you don't. You really don't. Like my friend with the nose or the hair, it's like, okay, that's not even a thing. So what do you do? What is the treatment for this particular disorder? 1, cognitive behavioral therapy. It works great because it addresses irrational thoughts. 2 are meds. Antidepressants could help you, because if you have a lot of anxiety and depression already, an antidepressant could help you with that. And the third one is to have good habits. So if you are going to go to therapy, which I would highly recommend if you really suffer from this, then keep all your appointments. Even if you think you're feeling better, keep your appointments. Take your meds, reach out to people, and you're going to know that it isn't as bad as you imagine in your mind. Your mind is playing tricks on you, because no matter how bad you think it isn't as bad as you think it is. And a lot of the things that we learn from when we're growing up, and especially if you were teased or bullied or whatever, if you have grown up with that, it becomes one of your core beliefs. I am ugly because I have this particular thing, when in fact, it isn't the truth. So that's why cognitive behavioral therapy can help you. All right, I hope this is helpful to you. I did bring this up because I know somebody who brought this up to me and said they wanted me to talk about it. And I just gave you sort of a thumbnail, but it can help you if you have this, or if you know somebody who does. Okay, feel free to email me at inspired@mercilessly.com if you have questions or any other issues that you'd like to discuss. All right, today is the drawing, so I don't want to stop here until I pick out the winner of the book, The Healing Alphabet, and the winner will get an autographed copy of my book shipped to them free of charge. All right, thanks for signing in and donating your name to the cause of winning my book. Okay, all right, are you guys ready? All right, drum roll. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, and the winner is Boho. Boho. Oh, I hope I'm not saying this wrong. Ikige? Boho Ikige. All right, you are the winner. Congratulations, Boho. I hope you enjoy my book. Please contact me so I can get your shipping information and send you my book. And I hope you enjoy it once you get it. All right, you guys, that is it for today. Please subscribe and turn on your notifications and look for me next week. Until then, make every moment count. Bye.